Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing a video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to do a short reaction video to one I just watched by Ebby. I've mentioned her before. I will link that video in the description below. And she goes over some interesting ideas and questions in her video about purpose and jobs and kind of just mulling it over and trying to sort out what is the benefit, how does it help people keep from killing themselves. She mentions this a couple of times. Having a purpose, that is. She says without a purpose, people don't have a tether to the earth, and it makes things that much harder. I want to weigh in with a couple of observations. She makes some very good points, first of all, and I really respect all of her videos. I'm a follower at this point. But so I want to say that a job, that is to find employment with somebody or something, some business or corporation or another individual, is analogous to renting a purpose. I'm going to say that again. So you know the idea of renting. You can rent a house, you can rent a car, and this differs in pointed ways from owning a house and owning a car. And there's a very important difference. When you're done renting, you give it back. When you're done owning it or making payments on a house, for example, or a car, you keep the car or house. So the same is true with your time. The same is very much true with every minute of the day that you spend on something, anything. Now, you can extend your own purpose, and that's analogous to owning your time, or you can spend your time on a job or somebody else's purpose, that is. You can rent a purpose. So the same result happens in the end where you give it back. The space that you were occupying, the work that you actually did, the products that you manufactured or helped to create, the services that you rendered, they go to benefit other people, usually the owner of the company or the shareholders or the stockholders or the proprietor of some kind. And it's not you. That person is not you, categorically. And importantly, when you have a job with anybody besides yourself, at the end of the job, at the end of the day, in fact, all of the work you did belongs to somebody else. Something to think about. And unfortunately, in this world, we're encouraged to do this because, well, there's a lot of reasons. Mainly because not everybody is equipped or interested in being an entrepreneur. Maybe you've heard the term entrepreneur. It means that you start your own business. You start your own, vocation. You work for yourself. You're self-employed, or you actually have a whole big business with people under you, with staff and all that stuff. So consider that every job you've seen ever in your entire life, there's somebody in charge. They own this place. They run it. There's a CEO or a boss of some kind, and there's a head boss. And as far as people staying on the earth, such as she says, I appreciate her compassion, and I have a somewhat controversial view on this subject. I do believe that life is precious, first of all. I do believe that human life especially is beautiful and precious and should be protected up to a point. I do believe also in compassionate euthanasia, and this is a big conversation. I don't want to get all into euthanasia. If you know what that is, it's mercy killing. Mercy killing is if something is terminally ill or injured beyond a point, and there's very little to no chance of recovery. Sometimes it's obvious that there's just no hope whatsoever. There was actually a big controversy back in the 90s. This doctor famously was arrested for assisting old people, terminally ill patients with suicide. He was called Dr. Death, and he was demonized in the media, and it was a scandal, a big sensation. But the issue remains, and nowadays it has all just kind of withdrawn behind closed doors, but the same issue is very much contemporary nowadays. It goes on, and they're just a lot more secretive about it. I don't need to give examples, but trust me, it does go on. So anyway, this is connected because Ebby is of the opinion that all suicide is bad, and a lot of people share this opinion. I think that it's up to the individual. Suicide is one of those rare crimes that you can't really enforce because it's not about anybody except the person themselves. And to say that they can't or shouldn't or that it's illegal is selfish. It's ultimately selfish. We're saying this world is better with you in it, but we don't care about necessarily, whether or not you're able to be happy. It's more about us at that point. I don't agree with that. So I think that there are legitimate times when a person can and should consider moving on. And I'm not saying that anybody should. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not calling for it. I'm quite the opposite. I'm saying that every effort should be made to intervene and to support people and get them help if they need it, to lift them up, to give them space if they need it. It's not always about attention or intervention. Sometimes it's about letting them feel what they're feeling and grow because of it. Life is not always easy, and just because someone considers suicide doesn't mean that they're going to go through with it, but it's a very serious thing. My final point on that subject is that I don't always disagree with their choice. In the end, if they have all of the information and they've had all the support and treatment and therapy and they still want to go through with it, who am I to say otherwise? Who am I? So anyway, that's my point. I challenge the absolution of her perspective on that, but with that in mind, she's kind of tiptoeing around the big question here in her video. And the big question is, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? Now, what if there was a very concise answer to this question that a lot of people aren't familiar with? I say that she's answering the question in her video by saying purpose is so important. Purpose is vital. It defines why you should even be here. What it defines, in other words, the meaning of life. The meaning of life is to discover your own individual purpose, whether you want to spend your time in service of another person, whether it's a lover or an employer, or if you want to spend some or all of your time in service of yourself and your own business, your family. If you want to keep it local or if you want to branch out, if you want to volunteer, all of these are examples of having purpose and thus belonging to the earth, like she pointed out. But the meaning of life is about discovering your purpose, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. It's not complicated. But I go on and on. Check out her video. It's in the description below, and I will link this one on her page or her video. So thank you very much and have a great day.